whole, like, taking on investors and investing other people's money is a whole nother level.
That was a tough one, I think, for me to wrap my head around. Like, it's one thing for me to give it to somebody and say, I trust them to get it done. I know these guys, where it's a whole other thing if I was the one accepting it.
Yeah.
How does that feel to get to now know that
you're
committing yourself to other people and knowing that they're counting on that to work out?
Yeah, you definitely, I feel like I take bigger risks on my own stuff, right? I'm more, probably more risk adverse with investing other people's money for sure, and want to see greater margins and want to see more room for error, as opposed to doing my own stuff. I know I can micromanage something no matter how it's going sideways and make it work just by like super hyper focus on schedule, super hyper focus on income, nail those expenses, and just, if I have to, I can step in and like mitigate expenses just by doing things myself. If I'm in state, let's say. So it's just a whole nother ball game for me, like using other people's money. I don't know if that was a question, but I mean, that's part of the larger game. You have to start using other people's money in most cases, so.
I feel like it kind of goes like this, you get, at least for us, it's like you kind of get into it and then you get good at it and people are like, wow, you're really good at what you're doing. You've got a track record. You've got some, we call them tombstones. You got all these deals you've done and you can show people IRR and all these other things. And people want to invest with you. And it gets a little easier over time, but I never worry about my money, but I do worry about my investors' money. It's not like a deal would never keep me up because of my investment, because I think I'm good enough to go out and replicate it. But I'm very, very, very sensitive to taking on the commitment from someone else and the responsibility for someone else's money. And I'm sure you're feeling the same way. But then hopefully you get to the point where, maybe you want to continue to build that machine, but you may not always want to do that, because money comes with strings and money comes with other things that, obligations that you may not want to have to always manage, so you get to the point where it's like, we want to put our own money back into work and back into deals, and who's better at that than hopefully you feel pretty confident in yourself, right? So you're going to start to have to find ways to put your own money to work, and you'll need a little less investor capital over time, if that's your model. Now, some people go the exact opposite way and they, sideline all their money. But if I'm asking someone to put money into a deal, I'm always in the deal. We're always in the deal first.